So, yeah, I will share my screen and we will continue from there, from where we left.
Yeah, please, I would like you to record all our classes and I would like to have a video of all the
Yeah,
recording.
yes, definitely.
Right.
Started the recording so that I can share this with you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And also I will share with you the notes, right?
Yeah, cool.
Okay. So I think if I can move this, yes. Yeah, so you understood this, right? That in this model, basically we will be giving these as inputs, these other columns. These other columns will be going in as input, and as output, we will be getting our predictive variable, our independent variable. And this will be done using some mathematical formulas. And now how this mathematical formula is derived, this completely depends upon this model, sorry, algorithm. There are different algorithms for a classification. There are different algorithms for regression. There are different algorithms. Do you understand what do you mean
Yeah,
by classification and regression? You are clear with that, right?
yeah, I think classification is with labeled data and regression is like finding the pattern itself or something like that.
That is with the supervised and unsupervised.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, classification is like using pictures, saying you classify this to this, and regression is
Ah.
like using linear regression. So I think I know it, but I can't remember to be
Ha,
honest.
ha, ha. Okay, so I will tell you the foundation, like the exact thing what it is. You are right,
Yeah,
like in pictures, like in identifying between two objects, we will specifically
yeah,
say. It is not in specifically in pictures, in numbers also it have. It is also in text. The fundamental idea is to classify between two objects, two or three objects, or maybe four objects. We will call it discrete. Discrete,
okay,
right? Discrete means there are specific amount of categories. Suppose say two, three, four. We can count them, right? Like
okay,
two people, right? Or three fruits. So basically now we will classify, and this is discrete. There are a specific number of them, okay?
okay,
And then we will classify whether this is a cat or a dog, okay?
yeah,
And this can be in picture and this can be in text.
okay.
This example that I just gave you above, can you tell me that this was example of regression or classification? This, yes or no?
This will be yes or no
Okay,
is classification.
exactly. Because here we are classifying between them,
Yeah,
yes or no,
yeah,
right? And in regression, we have continuous numbers.
okay,
Continuous number means there is not a specific this two. It can be anything. Like suppose a house price. It can range from anywhere like 20K to 200K or maybe to 300K to 500K, and there can be any value in between. Like it can be 101.00K. You got it?
yeah, yeah,
Here we'll be telling exactly which number it is. So here we'll be regressing, and here we'll be classifying. Like here we will tell whether from which of these two, which of them these category they fall, the output fall. Okay. So this example was example of a classification problem. All right. So
yeah,
here, so yeah, so let's come back again to our the main problem, which was how we use this age to tell to give this number.
yeah.
Once we get this number, then we will be easily able to tell whether this is a yes or no based on this threshold that we have set. Right.
So
But
how do we
again,
set the threshold also? Like, how do we say this is the threshold? Can we
exactly,
say threshold can be 0.2? Maybe if you
exactly,
like,
exactly. So this is a what we call them as a hyperparameter sometimes, or sometimes it is set by the model. Sometimes we specify this value or
Yeah.
sometimes we let the model assign it based upon the previous pattern. Based
Okay.
upon the previous pattern, it will tell, yeah, it will be specified. It will try to see like whether if we set it to 5, is the accuracy high or not.
Okay.
If we
Okay. I think
set it
that this
to
it
4,
comes with experience.
yeah, experience and learning, right? That's why it is called training, and that's
Yeah.
why it is called machine learning, because it is learning these weights.
Okay.
Basically, machine learning is nothing but about learning these weights, learning these numbers. And same thing, same learning happens here as well. Here,
Yeah.
we will
Yeah.
multiply this value, this x1, with
Yeah.
certain number here. Let's call
Yeah.
this is x1. Suppose we will call it some variable. This will be your y,
Yeah.
right? This is your 200. We will multiply this with a z. This is your
Yeah.
70. We will multiply this with suppose say k. And machine learning is all about identifying these numbers, these values. Y, value of z, value of k. And these are all the techniques, all the algorithms are there that help you to identify them. And they suppose now once we find these value, suppose say this is 0.27, y value is 0.27,
Yeah.
value of z is 0.13, value of
Yeah.
k is 0.23.
Yeah.
Now this value will be multiplied with this, and this will be given. Suppose say it gives the I'm not here mathematically correct, but
Yeah. Yeah.
for
That's fine. That's
intuition,
fine.
suppose say this
Yeah.
gives you the value of 0.13. This multiplication here gives you the value of 0.27. This gives you the value of 0.33.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what you will do is, now you will suppose say, now this is completely dependent on the algorithm that you use. Suppose say we are using linear regression and it will combine them. That means it will add these values. 0. What was that? 0.13. This is for age, right?
Yeah.
And this is completely, this tells how important this feature is.
0.27. Age is 0.27. Then
No.
salary
Yeah,
0.13.
that was 0.27 was the value of y. But after
Oh yeah.
multiplying it with the
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
value
Oh,
weight,
0.13. Okay, okay.
yeah, exactly. So after multiplying this with the variable here, so this will
Yeah,
keep changing. For every data point, this will keep changing. This will be
yeah,
fixed. Y will be
yeah,
fixed, 0.27.
yeah.
So this will be keep on changing and we will get some values, 0.13 for in this case. Now we will, yeah, so what this Y tells is, this tells us the importance of this variable, right? How important this variable is in predicting the load. If the value is in positive, that means this age is highly important in predicting this column.
But how do we set this threshold? Like, how
Yeah,
do we say, okay, if
yeah.
I'm looking at,
This is what machine learning is all about. Like there are techniques like gradient descent. You can note this point, gradient descent. If you
yeah,
get some
I've
time,
seen it before.
yeah, if
Yeah,
you get some time, you can explore it, learn it about it.
okay,
Gradient descent. So gradient descent basically helps you to find this value. It is something like this. You suppose you take this value 0.27 here. It will try to come at this point, this local minima where your accuracy is the highest, right? So it will try to minimize it. It will try to go to the bottom of this. Okay. And at a certain point, you will get the value that is most accurate. And
so is it
after
that
the
gradient
training,
descent?
hmm?
Am I going to do it on the training data?
Huh?
Am I going to do the train gradient descent on the training data?
Yes, we do this in the linear regression. We do the gradient descent. Okay, so I will show you in this code maybe in the next meeting. Just to remind me.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
I will
fine. That's
I
fine.
will show you like how this weights look like. I'm specifying here the 0.27, right? But in real world, you will see it is 0.27387. Like it will be a long numerical form, right?
That
So so basically this tells you the importance of this column. Like for salary it is 0.13. That tells that salary is less important in predicting the loan, and age is more important because it is 0.27. So this value comes from the training. This value will, here I have
okay.
kept it from my
Yeah.
intuition, but it will come from training.
Okay. Okay. Exactly. Okay. Okay. That's what
Model,
we're in the
yeah,
practical side.
yeah. At first, model will give any random value here, but
Yeah.
then it will test whether the output is correct or not based upon the
Okay.
historical events.
Okay. Okay.
Then,
Okay.
if the accuracy is low, if we are getting wrong answers for most of the cases, then it will try to change this value. Then we will try to maybe increase it or decrease it. Okay.
Okay.
So that is defined in the math algorithm that you don't have to worry about most of
Yeah.
the time unless you are into the core research area. Mostly you will be having some libraries like sklearn, TensorFlow, which will provide you algorithms. So simply you will use them and you will feed in these features
Yeah.
to that library that we will see
Yeah.
like linear regression, random forest, XGBoost,
Exactly.
right?
Decision trees.
Yeah, there are some ensemble algorithms as well that are basically that what they do is like they take output from multiple models and then they
Yeah.
combine it, and
Yeah.
whichever is the highest vote, it will take that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that is everything that can be done on the code. But to
Yeah.
understand the whole logic behind it, whole intuition behind it, how it works,
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
this
Exactly.
feature are important to predict the loan, this is important.
Yeah.
Right. So I think you got the idea. So basically, if you understood this classification regression, there is another term, supervised, unsupervised reinforcement.
Yeah.
So
So
currently,
you've not explained this place completely. Go up
Mhm.
a bit. Go up a
Mhm.
bit.
Yeah, I will tell you about reinforce. Yeah. Okay.
No, not gradients. So where you are like so
Hmm.
this f if x no go down the second page.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Second page. Go down. Yeah, it's okay. This blue, if s is less than 0.6, no, s is greater than 0.6, yes.
Hmm.
So I understand like how to get those figures, those x1, x2, x3.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So how do you get all these figures from
Yes,
here?
yes, yeah, exactly, exactly. Here we were, right? So you got this point, like how this 0.13,
Yeah,
we get this 0.13, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Similarly
Then
for
you now got to
salary,
compare.
yeah, similarly for salary, we will get 0.27 after multiplying this 200 into Z,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Similarly for weight, we got this 70 multiplied by K,
yeah,
there, then we got this 0.37. Now
yeah.
we will combine them, we will accumulate them, and
Okay.
there will be something 0.6. So they are basically the probability, okay?
Yeah,
And this is completely dependent on the algorithms. There are multiple different algorithms and they have different techniques,
yeah,
okay? So suppose
yeah,
I'm using cumulative, I'm adding all of them. So it will
yeah,
be 0.37. And this will give me some value that will be around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0.77.
yeah.
Okay. Now this model gives me x is equals to, let me not write it here, it will make
Yes,
cluster here.
s is equals to
X
yes,
is equals to
yes,
0.77. Now here I will compare it with a threshold.
yeah.
If
That's
this is
yes.
if this is greater than zero point 0.6, it will say yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now I understand. I understand. I understand. So there's like a lot of whole work that's been done. It's just like Excel when
Hmm.
like maybe you want to take things from different columns in Excel into
Hmm.
another sheet. You write all the queries, you go cell one plus two, cell this, say plus, then it just brings all of those things for you
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
you
Hmm. Hmm.
pull
Yeah,
up
and
down.
yeah, and even before here, we have many things that are done to get this get this thing here in the
Features,
proper
these
format.
main features.
Yeah, yeah. So
Exactly.
to get these things, there are many effort that are done
Yeah,
in this part.
yeah,
That is this cleaning,
yeah,
processing,
yeah.
manipulating, visualizations, feature importance, feature selection, and there are many things other
Outliers,
than this.
vectors.
Yes, right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, as I told, so basically, I was giving you the roadmap of what we will be going through this entire session. So, so this was a thing that I give you the introduction about all of these things. Then we will see about the data cleaning. Just let me note them down. I think we don't have much time as well.
Yeah,
In the week two, sorry, in the next class, we will be talking maybe around data cleaning and visualization and EDA a bit.
yeah,
What is the importance of it, right? Cleaning, visualization, and how in the actual real world it is used.
yeah,
And in the week two, we will discuss about feature engineering. In this feature engineering, everything related to data transformation, encoding, and feature selection techniques will come, like principal component analysis. Yeah, you asked me this question, right? Like, how will you decide? Suppose there are 200 columns.
yeah,
Now, how do you decide like which column to pick?
yeah,
And suppose all of them are important, then how you will decide how you will give this to the model, because it will increase the computation, right?
yeah.
Because if you will, there will be many columns, it will add the computation to it, and it will get the training time to maybe months,
Wow,
right? Sometimes it is like more than months. So
wow.
So we have to reduce the number of columns, and we have to optimize it such that we get the maximum out of it in the least possible time. Right. So there are techniques like PCA, principal component analysis. If you get some time, you can check about them and get your queries in the further upcoming
Yeah,
classes.
so anything you want me to check about, just
Mm.
send it to me after our meeting. Just
Okay.
check about so I can just
Okay. Cool.
stop and I'll be reading it
Cool.
every time.
Cool. Okay, or one thing you can do is like I may be sharing you this notebook, or if I'm writing it here. So whatever you feel that you is interested to you, you can check about it. Means
Yeah,
there is
yeah,
not a
that's fine.
specific thing that you should look about, but according to your curiosity, you can
Yeah, yeah,
go
yeah.
into it deeper.
Those are the
So,
things I say on those Instagram comment I'm telling you about. Those are the things I say in Instagram
mhm.
content.
Because
That,
Instagram, I will be a bit distractive there. Like I will be not be able to
yeah, that's fine.
engage
That's fine.
much there. So
Yeah,
the
that's
another
fine.
thing is like in the week two is will be a model development. So we can't
Yeah,
uh, give much time as we are already in week two. So we will here talk about some model development. So before this, we have talked about everything like data cleaning, visualization, exploratory data analysis, feature engineering, PCA, right? So here we will
yeah,
see some basic from basic, then we will go to a bit advanced like linear regression, decision tree, all the logic behind it, like how it is used in real
yeah,
world scenarios, when to use which model is very important, right?
yeah,
Linear regression, decision trees, when to use which, all of that stuff. Evaluate models. This is very important. How do you evaluate? How do you evaluate and tell whether which model performed well, right? What
yeah,
are the metrics, F1, F2? Because see, most of the time is spent on this in the real world scenario to get this score the highest. So you should know how this score works. F1
okay,
score, there are multiple metrics. Like this F1 score is one example. So similarly,
yeah,
there are mean squared error, absolute mean squared error, right? So for different algorithms, there are different metrics. So how do
Yeah.
you use that and evaluate your model? So basically, I will give you a rough idea about how it goes. Then when you do the project, when you do your self-learning, you will explore it. I will tell you the resources where to find them, and then you can go through it. Okay.
Okay.
So just give me a minute to check whether the recording is going on. Yes, cool.
All right. But do you think I'll be able to understand these things if I don't really understand
Hmm.
Python that much?
Python.
You know? Yeah, like I don't even have basic
No,
understanding.
no, no issues, no issues. Python, you don't have to dig deeper into Python because I think you have a good understanding of how to use ChatGPT.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So if you can use these AI tools, I will suggest you please do bring to
Yeah, of
your
course.
projects because they will help you a lot. Because see, if you will not be using it, your competitor will use it, and
Yeah,
you will.
I understand. But at the same time, I feel
Uh,
like I need to
mm.
know the basics so I can debug. Because
Definitely. So basically,
I
basics we
might
will
not
be covering, like how
to
it
debug, you know.
it is going through there. But see, actually, the thing is like if we will go all of it, it will take more time, right?
Yeah,
Like
no,
if we will,
sure, sure, sure. It's just the basic, like
hmm.
objects
Yeah,
that were
definitely. From there we
in.
will go. Like
Yeah. So like maybe
how
machine
much
learning,
Python
like
will be like required to do all of these things?
yeah,
We will cover that.
functions, objects,
Yeah, yeah,
init, and
yeah.
all that. Those are the
Right.
things we'll be
Like how the
using.
API
That's
is
good.
integrated, like how do you call
Yeah.
the functions and where to store them, how do you store them, right? So we will cover all of them. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so this was in the week two. Then in week three, we can go to some advanced ML algorithm, ML techniques. Then in the week four, we will do some end-to-end ML pipelines, like right,
Yeah.
and the deployment stuff. Like how do you basically do model pickling? So basically, we will once the model is created, so
Yeah.
you will compress it. We may say, okay,
Yeah.
we may
Yeah.
compress it and we may share it with the backend team who is working on the product. So this is the ML engineer stuff, data science stuff. The data science stuff will be giving suppose an API maybe
Okay.
to use this model, or maybe it will give a pickle object that will
So
be that
data
will be
science are going
used.
to provide like objects or API to the machine learning
Yeah,
engineers.
right, right, right. Yeah, you got it. So here now in this backend engineer, so this API are capable of giving a input, suppose a text string, or suppose these input columns, suppose age, salary, and weight, and this API will return you the yes or no, the loan.
Okay. Because I do this sort of thing
Hmm.
with Power Apps
Hmm.
where I have like maybe a database
Uh,
in SQL, then I
hmm.
do the PTL to put it into maybe SharePoint document and I connect it to Power
Hmm.
Automate and I
Hmm.
connect the flow to my Power Apps where if you type in a detail, it will go
Hmm.
into that SharePoint to bring out that kind
Hmm.
of, to return it,
Hmm.
to return the details. So
Hmm.
something
Hmm.
like that. The machine engineers are the ones that are going to build the pipeline.
Yeah, so every pipeline will be built by them, like how the data comes in and how it is cleaned, how it is given to the model, right? How the cleaning, processing, or everything is done, and then it will create a model. So this
Yeah,
creating the data science pipeline is the job of this data science engineer, the ML engineer.
yeah,
And at the end, we will be having a simple API that can be used by a backend developer or
yeah,
a front-end developer, maybe.
yeah.
Okay, so that it can
Okay,
be used with other features. So here, like basically, you will be giving age, salary, weight, and it will give you the yes or no. And then
okay,
that decision can be taken here to decide some other functionality. Suppose say there are some different logic. So based upon this decision, you can create your product. And I will
okay,
share you some examples like how products can be built out of it.
okay,
Similar
okay.
things are done with the LLMs as well. So LLMs, suppose say this is a large language model. LLM,
Yeah,
and a chat
yeah,
GPT, there's OpenAI, a Gemini.
yeah. They are all like the back end, front end.
Yeah,
They are the front end.
they are like the API providers, we may say. They will give you an
Okay.
API that you can use in your backend code and display it on your front end. Make decisions here, right? But see, this will be a very simple job to do, and maybe your demand will be not much. But if you are able to tweak in this LLM,
Yeah,
that will be a high paying or a high quality job. Suppose say you have a finance company, right? And you have a data that is not accessible by these LLMs, that these things don't know. Suppose a user data or suppose anything that can be.
yeah,
Now, you can't give this data to open source LLMs, right? Because this will be a data leak or something,
yeah,
right? So what you will do is you will get them on your local storage, this complete LLM, not this API, this complete LLM, and feed this your data. There are some techniques like a RAG. There are some techniques like a fine tune. So
yeah.
on
Those are the things
this,
I want to learn. Like after I've learned all this, you know what? Like after you've taught me all these ones, and I want to go to all these ones later on also.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. In the second month, we will be doing all these stuff like how building these projects and exploring
yeah,
these things based upon your interest. And if time
yeah,
passes, like we will try to create an end-to-end project and deploy it.
yeah. That's fine.
So yeah, so everything like on
So most
your
of all these RAG fine tuning is like they're going taking LLM source codes,
hmm, hmm, hmm,
ChatGPT source codes, and they are kind of making sure it's built in their environment.
hmm.
Is that what you?
Yeah, for your finance data set, like for your industry, for your specific data set, we will fine tune it so that it can answer upon your data set. Because if you will say, suppose say, tell say user this, solve the query of this user based upon this problem, maybe the LLM will generalize it, give the
Yeah,
general answer. But if you
yeah.
give it to the your firm data, right? So it will give you the specific answer, like what is the solution of this specifically.
Okay, is that, do you mean that we are going to be training it with our own personal data?
Exactly.
Oh, so we're going to do all those data science stuff on it
Exactly. Exactly.
instead of building it from the start like we did in data science.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is like a more advanced stuff. Like in the data science, you have to give all this data set. You have to get all these variables, right? All these
Yeah,
columns. So it is a
yeah,
very painful job there.
yeah,
But that's the
yeah.
beauty of these LLMs that you can just talk in the simple natural language.
Okay,
That you can
okay,
just simply add your PDF documents, even documents you can upload there. And in the
yeah,
natural language, you can get the responses.
okay,
And this is called natural language processing. This is a field inside the deep learning.
yeah,
In deep learning, there are natural language processing, computer vision. So natural language processing is one where you interact with the text and you train it on your specific data. Yeah. So these are the things that can be done on the later part.
yeah. Cool.
So
Yeah, you understand what I'm looking to get. So
yeah.
that I can know all these things end to end, where because in my organization I have access to data,
Hmm,
and I think we only have one machine learning engineer, maybe two data science. So I
hmm,
can just do something on, I have access to data sets, do
hmm,
something on those data sets, and possibly just show them. But I would
hmm.
have done a lot of
Exactly.
writing on my computer, and I need to
Then they will
understand
value.
it.
Yeah. Then that will add the value on your resume
Yeah,
on your pitch.
yeah,
So I think we are good for now.
yeah,
So from next classes, like we will get some Python for our use case, means for whatever we will be doing, and start with the week one, and we'll
yeah,
complete the week one in the next class with
yeah,
all the processing EDA and all the stuff, and
yeah,
then we will try to get the understanding of how the complete view of
yeah.
this.
Right, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, cool. I will share you uh, maybe I will upload this into the some Google Drive, or I will share you the link.
Yeah, Google Drive. Yeah, fine. That's fine. Week one or first day or first something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just share the link with me. Then I'll have access to
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And the recordings also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
All
so
right.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll
All right.
connect soon.
All right, that's fine. So I'll let you know I'm through this